Why is it doing that? Why is it got a square around that? It's gone.
Call the meeting to order at this time. Roll call.
Roll call. This action is taken by calling each board member's name with the board member answering present. Mr. Murray.
Present.
Mr. Selby.
Present.
Ms. Wilson.
Present.
Mrs. Higginbotham.
Present.
Mr. Kazsuk.
Present.
All board members present.
Next item on the agenda is the adoption of the agenda.
Mr. Kazsuk, I don't have anything to add or to recommend removal, so if there are no corrections or amendments, I recommend the agenda be approved as presented.
I'll make a motion to approve the adoption agenda.
Second.
I'll second.
Vote.
Mr. Murray.
Yes.
Mr. Selby.
Yes.
Ms. Wilson.
Yes.
Ms. Higginbotham. Mr. Kazsuk.
Yes. Next item on the agenda is public comments.
Nice weather outside.
Yes, it is.
Amen.
It is
Boy,
pretty
it's been a
well.
bad weekend, ain't it?
Yes.
So, I got a phone call the other day from the principal. Said that he was expelled from school for 3 days, 9 days alternative school, and 1 day ISS. So, when they called, they pretty much acted like he just went crazy, okay? So, the kid had took a magnet from him in class, and he tried to get the teacher's attention. So he tried 5 or 6 times. She wouldn't. She kind of acknowledged him, but kind of just like, hold on. He says she was looking at her phone. So anyway, he gets mad, walks out of the classroom. In the meantime, he had told the teacher that he was going to go to the bathroom. She said, okay. So they found him in the bathroom. So I come up here to pick him up, and Miss Stringer comes up there and talks to me up there in the lobby, and tells me everything. You know, we're talking. You know, so as we're talking, Gavin and Mr. Young come up, and they're standing on the other side of the glass door. So right as we get done talking, Young comes out and says, well, it's going to be just like last time. Charges are filed. Okay. Yeah. So we're kind of talking back and forth, trying to figure out what the situation is, what happened, you know. So every time I would correct him, I felt like I was getting lied to. So when Gavin come out with Mr. Young, I kind of stopped the conversation and said, Gavin, tell me what happened. So I was getting one story from her, one story from him, and one story from him. Well, when he starts crying, when we're all three sitting there talking, and looks at me and says, Dad, that ain't what happened. You know, I just kind of got mad and walked out. I told him something down. I feel like the alternative sentence is too much for what happened. When I asked why the teacher was on the phone, the kids can't have students, the principal leaned over to me and said, sometimes teachers take attendance on their cell phones.
Who's Mr. Young?
Why did the teacher come out the phone?
Yeah.
Why was she ignoring him? He
I've
was never got it.
got the statement. I've got the statement. So it's a one-way street, obviously. I understand that. It's a one-way street, obviously, for this student not to give a statement. They just take the statement from the teacher and run with it, press charges. Not only the charges are bogus. You can't be abusive of a teacher if you're not taught. That's freedom of speech. You can't press charges on that. And we've got to pay. So,
With,
I mean,
if I, you don't care, with it being a student issue, I would be happy to set up a meeting with you all and Mrs. Stringer and maybe Mr. Guide or somebody else attend.
yeah, we
But
don't, Mr. Young, I mean,
Okay.
he can be present.
I understand that.
He don't need to speak for us.
But typically with student issues in public place, we don't discuss them. Like, I'm not going to provide feedback to you or anything, and I'm not even aware of the situation that you all are referring to. So if you allow me the opportunity to get back with you all, if you leave Mr. Guider your name and contact number, I'll get back with you all and we'll set up a meeting and we'll try to work through this.
We'll write it down and
Yeah.
we'll get the.
Now, I'll call you all in the morning and we'll get a meeting set up, okay? I just didn't want that to go on. Yeah. Check one thing real quick. Yeah. If there's a more convenient time, just let Mr. Grider know. Yeah, okay. Okay.
Anything further? Anybody else have public comment? If not,
I would like to say and thank our school community in the middle school and high school. We've had a young man that had a very special trip that's battling some significant issues with cancer, and people donated and made a really special trip for him, and he's back now, and they had a wonderful trip, and the young man starts chemo again in the morning, so just keep him in your prayers. But it was really blessing for everybody involved with that, so I appreciate our schools coming together for that.
next item on the agenda is Russell County Education Association Certified Employee Recognition. Marla Aiken, I'm sorry, Russell County High School.
It's probably been worse, hasn't it?
I'm sorry.
Oh, shoot.
I've been
Come
kind
up
of
here so
lost.
everybody gets to see you. Oh, me. It's with great honor and pleasure that I recognize Miss Marla today. She is at the Russell County High School. Grades that she teaches is 9 through 12 and 14. Subjects, MSD, special education, all subjects basically. Years taught, including this year, is 32. And list the classes or the other places she's taught. I've been at Russell County High teaching special ed for my entire 32 years. That is unheard of anymore. Completely unheard of. So that is awesome for you to be able to do that. So,
32 years.
colleges and degrees, Lindsay Wilson College for 2 years, transferred to Tennessee Tech University and graduated with a bachelor's degree in special education. A master's degree in elementary education from Western Kentucky University. What do you like best? Her first comment was my students.
Yeah.
And seeing them make progress. So
Well, you
that's
have to be
awesome.
special to do
Hobbies,
that.
spending time with family, friends, and my dogs, walking for exercise and stress relief. Walk every day? No. Need to. Favorite quote, again, this just kind of touched me when I saw that. My mom would always tell me, don't cross the bridge until you come to it. And the things you worry about the most never happen, when I would be stressed about something. So two great quotes there. And anything else that you'd like to say? Excited to have my daughter teaching special education here in Russell County. So awesome job. Awesome job. We give her $100 to spend over spring break.
Spring break.
First full week.
She asked if she had to speak. I said, no, but I'll turn it over and give you the opportunity if you want to. So I'll give Ms. Marla.
She has been a mentor to many of us, and you've had students that have worked in your classroom as peer tutors and things
Yes.
like that, and they have now they're also teachers. And I know your daughter is a teacher at MSD. Mr. Goddard, I have Read Across America next Monday, 4 to 6 at the library. Read Across Russell County. Okay, all right.
Yeah, we've had several to come through
Yeah.
as peer tutors, then come back and work as teachers and assistants, and that's good. that
Yes.
They liked it and they come back and be with us.
Absolutely.
Yes, thank you all.
Yeah.
Thank you
Thank
very
Ms.
much
Evans.
for your service.
Okay.
Next item on the agenda, district bonding potential update.
Lincoln knew we talked some at our other board meeting about our bonding capacity. We was talking about the canopy and things like that. He has another meeting to attend, but he was able to meet with us virtually before he goes to his other one. And his signal's not real strong, so he's just going to do, he's not going to have the audio up there. The bonding potential is in your packet, and he's going to talk us through that, what that's going to look like. Hey, Lincoln, you good to go?
I'm good to go if you guys can hear me.
Oh, we can hear you. You're Pentecostal.
Guys, first my apologies for not being there in person, and so I do regret that, and I definitely owe you guys. Thanks for having me virtually. If you've got the packet in front of you, I'd like to I'd like to go completely backwards. If we can start on page 4. So really what I want to talk about today is just kind of where your bonding capacity can be safely projected as you look out 7/1/26, 7/1/28. You know, all of a sudden the years just stack up on us. You know, July 1 of 26, just a little over a year away. July 1, 28, you know, 26 months away. Inside the box, your current bonding capacity as we're here today is 22 million. Outside the box, I've got 2 footnotes there that show very conservatively you can anticipate an additional 6 million of bonding capacity that would be available in just over a year, July 1 of 26, and then a further 6 million conservatively, July 1 of 28.
36 million.
Then I've just arbitrarily plugged in $2 million of cash. I'll kind of show you where I come up with that. That's definitely a conversation that involves Mara as if there's any cash available from surplus building funds. But kind of my goal is to show that a total of 36 million with conservative estimates is a realistic conversation to be having. I mean, you guys have known me long enough that I'm conservative by nature. And so if you turn to, that's kind of the gist of everything I wish to share. So if I get too far in the weeds, if we turn back to page 3, page 3 shows in columns C, D, E, and F. That shows what a hypothetical $22 million bond issue would look like today. A traditional 20-year bond issue. More and more, it's becoming more and more common to see districts issue 25-year term bonds if it is a major project like you guys might be considering. What I want to show here on page 3, if you go to page 3 on the far right-hand column K, the $22 million scenario is only using the standard 20-year term. And in column K down at the bottom, inside the box, this shows revenues that you're going to have that I would be able to consider for bonding if I could look out closer to 25 years. The problem is that you're sort of, in order to consider a bond any longer than 20 years, we don't have enough money in the early years to service the debt on any more bonds that we may issue out in years 21 through 25. However, if you'll turn to page 2, I want to show how your revenues grow. On page 2, I've highlighted in column I, page 2, column I, about a $700,000 increase in your building fund dollars between fiscal year 24 and fiscal year 25. A lot of that had to do with monies that come in from the state to equalize your nickels, because property values in different parts of the state rise faster than than the rural districts, and so sort of the state match had a significant positive impact. And every 2 years, you know, basically as long as there's areas in the state growing faster than you, every 2 years that formula tends to increase. Whenever I'm showing $6 million coming available, 7/126, and then another $6 million coming available, 7/128, to be conservative, I'm only sort of forecasting 1/3 of the increase that you just got between fiscal year 24 and 25. So I think the takeaway is just that from my perspective, I don't know what numbers necessarily the targets are, but as I look 2 years, and there's nothing stopping us from looking another 2 years out to 2030, but if somebody asked me to try to get to $40 million, we're close enough to where it's a realistic conversation to be having, I guess is my point, because it's just a matter of me being a little bit too, if it turns out I'm a little bit too conservative, then we're kind of already there. You know, as you think about the planning process of a large project like that, it's going to be in the design phase for a year. Just kind of planting some seeds, I guess.
So Lincoln, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so in a nutshell, on July 1, 2028, the board or the finance corporation could issue a bond for $36 million, in a nutshell. That's what you're...
In a nutshell, it would be $34 million, but I think
Oh, the
that,
2 million, yeah.
I think that you would be able to save up
Yes.
$2 million
Yeah.
of surplus building fund cash between now and then that gets you to 36.
Yeah. And if we were going to do the cost estimates for the middle school now are within that range. And so that's really good to hear that number. I mean, that's just, 2 years and 9 months away. Yeah.
And we don't necessarily have to wait until July 1, 26 to find out
Sure.
how much the next increase is. Che Ritter at KDE, he usually submits his new calculations to the General Assembly in approximately October. So we'll have a good idea of how much that jump would be, 7/126, kind of before the end of this calendar year.
Well, that... This is all good information to have there, Lincoln.
Yeah, if there's any other targets, come back to me. Again, it's also safe. I mean, just if you wanted to carry it on out and add another footnote, it really would be safe to anticipate an additional $6 million, 7/130. So a lot to consider, and I look forward to being part of the conversation in the future, in person. Anybody have any questions?
No, he did. Okay. Okay. Well, I'll.
Thank you, Lincoln.
Yes, thank you for your time, Lincoln. I know you worked this in there.
No, anytime I can get down for a work session where we can kind of roll our sleeves up around the table, obviously I prefer that, but thank you guys for having me today virtually.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you all. See you.
He said 5 is always supposed to go over.
So no action to take on that. I know that I orally talked to you all last board meeting about our bonding capacity and things like that. So Lincoln had told me that he'd be happy to share that information, and so it worked out for tonight for him to do that virtually. So again, no action to take or anything like that.
Something to look forward to.
Yeah, it absolutely is.
That sounds really
Yeah.
a lot better than a lot, I'm sure.
That third equalization of that nickel was significant in our bonding potential.
Next item on the agenda is consent agenda items.
We have the previous meeting minutes, payment of bills, school activity fund reports, field trips, and Ms. Carnes with the treasurer monthly report.
Treasurer's report for the month of February 2025. The balance on hand at the beginning of the month was $12,653,900. $687,734.79. Total receipts for the month were $12,396,316.28. That brings the total receipts and beginning balance to $25,084,051.07. Disbursements for the month were $2,877,607.95, and our balance at the close of the month was $22,206,443.12. In fund balances for the general fund, Fund 1, $10,575,592.23. Special Projects Fund 2, negative $42,200.02. District Activity Fund 21, negative $155,286.60. Capital Outlay Fund 310, $133,398. FSPK Building Fund, Fund 320, $1,243,906.96. Construction Fund, Fund 360, $9,822,570.77. Debt Service Fund 400, $0. Food Service Fund 51, $626,419.38. Fiduciary Fund, Fund 7,000, $2,042.40, and that brings our total cash and bank for all the funds to $22,206,443.12.
Thank you, Ms. Carnes. There are no changes or amendments. I recommend approval of the consent agenda items.
Need a motion?
Make a motion to that effect.
Gerald, second.
All right.
Vote?
Mr. Murray?
Yes.
Mr. Selby?
Yes.
Ms. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Higginbotham?
Yes.
Mr. Kazoo?
Yes. Okay. Next item on the agenda is consider reemployment of superintendent. Current contract expires June 30th, 2025.
Yep. So as you all know, my current contract, most a superintendent can serve at a time is 4 years. It's been a quick 12 years, I'll say that, and I've been blessed and I've been fortunate, and I'm very thankful for that opportunity. If you all so fit or see fit, I would appreciate and love to have another 4-year contract. If not, you'll just need to send me to the house. So
I'm going to make a motion that the board authorize the vice chair and myself to sit with Mr. Hoover and negotiate a contract with Mr. Ford and present it at the next board meeting. If that'd be okay.
I second that.
You'll second that. Vote?
thank you. Mr. Murray?
Yes.
Mr. Selby?
Yes.
Ms. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Higginbotham?
Yes.
Mr. Kazoo?
Yes.
I appreciate that, you all. Thank you.
You don't know what the negotiation was
Yeah.
yet.
Well, that's true. Don't ruin it.
Getting ahead of yourself.
I was feeling good.
You know what she just said, don't cross the bridge till you get there.
That's right.
I think it'll be all right.
Next item on the agenda is agreement with the city of Russell Springs for the softball field lights.
Jeremy.
As you all know, we have been using the softball field and everything at the old Russell Springs Elementary School, or the Charlene Harris Somerset Community College Russell Center there for a number of years now. The field lights are in bad shape there. The city has, Mr. Hoover can explain it better than me, it's kind of got a sublease from Somerset Community College, and they took over the fields. We did have our agreement with them, if you all remember a few years ago. It was kind of sublet, and now our agreement with the fields and everything are through the city of Russell Springs. This agreement allows the district to continue to use those fields for a guarantee of 10 years if we contribute $30,000 to help them replace the lights. So that accounts to $3,000 a year for that. So I think that's a pretty good deal for us to do that. And the lights are in bad need of repair. And I know the mayor had told me, part of the agreement previously was that the maintenance continued to mow the area up there, but they said that they would do that as well. So that's kind of what it is. $30,000 for that, we're guaranteed 10 years to continue to use the field, and that would be basically splitting the cost of the lights to put new lights up on that
Is
field.
that the only light that's ever been up there?
As far as, I've never been involved with replacing the lights, so They're older than that. Just looking at them, I would imagine they're some of the original.
86.
Yeah, when you all did the field, yeah.
Steph
Of course,
wet
these would
that's
be
where she
LED.
wet her teeth at up there.
You have anything, Mr. Hoover, else to add? Okay. So
Who uses that field? The middle school?
middle
Is that
school,
correct? Okay.
yeah, and then youth league
And
does too,
youth
Mr.
league.
Selby, yeah. Middle school stuff still practices, but the coaches have worked out a schedule too, Mr. Selby, this year, to where the middle school is gonna try to play, when our high school team is away, then they're gonna try to play some team on their field. Yeah.
They need to do
Yeah,
that.
yeah. And then, of course, the batting cage and all that's still up there too for the middle school use.
Joey made the motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the agreement with the city of Russell Springs.
I'll second it.
Vote?
Mr. Murray,
Yes.
Mr. Selby,
Yes.
Ms. Wilson.
Yes.
Ms. Higginbotham.
Yes.
Mr. Kazoo.
Yes.
Additional coach.
Next item on the agenda is additional instructional coach, revised job description.
By far, one of the best instructional things that we've done for this school district is the addition of the instructional coaches for our schools. And currently, we have one at each elementary school, and Dr. Bartrug is split between the middle school and high school. And there's not a principal meeting that we don't have, or administrators meeting that we have that we don't, the coaches are there, but we just don't talk about the service that their coaches are providing our teachers and working collaboratively with the school admin team. With your approval, we would like to have each school to have its own instructional coach, and then we have a revised job description as well. You all know we hire, it's just the times, but we hire teachers on occasion now that are option 6 or emergency, and they don't have any, undergraduate work and things like that. And our coaches are invaluable to that. And then in addition to just working with our seasoned teachers and in the professional learning communities, what we call the PLCs, they're just invaluable. You can ask any of our principals. They're just one of the greatest tools, and I appreciate the board's dedication to this, but I think it's highly needed and would be greatly used to have one at each school. Last year we added one to where we had one at each elementary school, and this would have one at each of our 5 schools with that. So I recommend approval of the additional instructional coach and revised job description as presented. And this would be posted for the middle school, is how it'd be a district position, but it would be posted at the middle school. And Dr. Bartrug would stay at the high school full-time, yes.
Make the motion.
Thank you.
Second, Mr. Murray, second. Vote?
Mr. Murray?
Yes.
Mr. Selby?
Yes.
Ms. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Higginbotham?
Yes.
Mr. Kazoo?
Yes.
If you heard HK this morning with Jeff, he was bragging on the schools.
Appreciate it.
Next item is school-wide fundraiser approval.
We have for Jamestown Elementary School for the Book Blast. That is not, we wouldn't have put that on here, and it's kind of retroactive, but it's not one that the school gets any money for. It's, people can contribute to an online forum to where the students actually get to add to their home library, but we put it on here. And Russell County Middle School PTO, they'll be doing snack sales weekly, the Queen Bee ice cream truck, and Kona ice sales, Little Caesars, and then the Coke sales. And like the Queen Bee ice cream truck, we've already vetted all that, and it meets the Smart Snacks schedule that has to be done. So I recommend approval of the school-wide
What's Little
fundraisers,
Caesars?
where they get to sell it. The
Oh, you
snacks,
mean
the
they'll
kids.
spring it?
One of
it's
them
them-
is, one of
put
them
the
is the
freezer.
kits, and then the one of
Yeah,
them
I've
is
got one of them in the freezer.
sometimes on
now.
Friday.
You want
no.
it? Sure.
How long's it been in there? You might be freezer burnt.
According to how hungry you are.
Let me see, I can't remember right off if this one is one that they're actually gonna sell it. This will be actually selling the pizza.
Oh,
Yeah, it's not the kits.
slices?
Mhm.
What day I'm coming?
On Fridays.
April 1 through 15.
Has to be sold 30 minutes after the last lunch. So I recommend approval of the school-wide fundraisers.
I make a motion.
Second, Mr. Murray. Vote?
Mr. Murray?
Yes.
Mr. Selby?
Yes.
Ms. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Higginbotham?
Yes.
Mr. Kazoo?
Yes. Next item on the agenda is out-of-state and/or overnight trips.
Russell County High School TSA, they're going to their conference in Louisville, Kentucky, March 23rd through 26th. Russell County High School baseball team, their spring tournament in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, April 4th to the 7th. Russell County High School FFA, April 15th to the 16th for the state at Murray State University for the FFA horsemanship contest. Then the baseball team on April 25th to the 26th at the Graves County Dinger Classic Tournament. DECA, you all saw that they placed to go on to national competition, so April 26th to the 30th in Orlando, Florida. Same thing with Educators Rising, they also placed, and they too will be going to Orlando, Florida. And then the annual middle school 8th grade trip to Washington, D.C., April 6th to the 10th. I recommend approval of the out-of-state and/or overnight trips as presented. And the state LAVIC money, what we call that given to the CTE programs, that can pay, and it does pay, for our DECA and Educator Rising. That can cover all of those student trips to do that. The transportation down there and things like that, registration. So that's a great asset.
Boosters.
For the ball
That's
teams and
basic.
stuff, yes.
Pays for that.
So I recommend approval of the out-of-state and/or overnight trips as presented.
I'll make a motion to that effect.
Second. Mr. Morrissey, second. Vote.
Mr. Murray,
Yes.
Mr. Selby,
Yes.
Ms. Wilson,
Yes.
Ms. Higginbotham,
Yes.
Mr. Kazoo.
Yes.
Floor finishes. Where's the fire?
Next item on the agenda is floor finishes for cheer and dance room, Anchor Center of Excellence.
So after we've got the building, the Anchor Center of Excellence complete, we did not do anything with the floor in the cheer or the dance room or Gerald TC either, but we've got another plan for that maybe. So I know some of you all been over there and talked about it too. Around the edge, we've got this really nice, good facility, and then we've got this rough concrete from the shops and things like that. So I met with 3 different entities and talked with them about some different options, and kind of everybody was on the same page, and along with maintenance about putting in carpet tiles around the edge of in the dance room and around the edge in cheer. So 3 of the local companies here, I got some bids from them, and Daniel's Carpet was the cheapest. I do want to note that the one quote that listed $13,000, they did not include the base because the base was put down as part of the project, but to put the carpet tiles up to the wall, of course, the base would have to come back down, and it was another $1,500. So Daniel's Carpet had the lowest of the 3 with $13,799. All 3 of those were attached. I think that will make it for a more softer area and just clean it up a lot and look a lot nicer to do that. And we could do that utilizing the funds from the First National Bank naming rights. And so that's what I recommend. I recommend approval of the
So
quote.
what was
Yep,
the
sorry.
difference in the quotes, dollar-wise? Because that gets a little muddy on the way I
Yep.
read it.
The Daniels was $13,799. Bennett's was $13,000 even without the base, and Buddy, Mr. Cole got with me today and said it'd be $1,500 if they had to replace all the base. And then if they didn't, by the linear foot, it would be, I think it's $2.50 per linear foot. And TNT was $14,302.11.
From who?
TNT.
Oh, TNT. Well, it's too pretty a thing not to finish it pretty.
Working with maintenance and Mr. Boblet about the Gerald TC floor, about some of that, it's kind of like epoxy, but it's not epoxy, but we're going to get some samples to see how that would do on the Gerald TC floor. It's pretty rough,
It
though.
wouldn't be good for carpet in there, would it?
No, they
Yeah.
march and they do their drills.
that's all I
Yeah.
thought.
Yeah, I could have hearing stuff.
So $800 difference in the,
Approximately, yeah, between the two.
and then we got one that's out of county and one that's in county.
Yeah.
Businesses, correct?
And that's correct.
One that
They
pays
were-
school taxes and one that doesn't.
Wonder if
Correct.
the one in county would come down some.
Well, we wouldn't, I couldn't go back and tell
Can't do
them.
that.
I mean, after I got the bids, I wouldn't go, it wouldn't be proper for
No.
me to go back, you
No.
know, and tell them that.
But you've got two businesses, one in county and one out of county.
Then where
I
we
know
go?
there's $800 difference, but what does,
Is there any issue with that with model procurement, Ms. Carnes?
Well, model procurement basically says you gotta go with the lowest price, unless you're willing to state, a service reason.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, Mr. Selby, and
You
we
know,
don't,
If you, like you've had an issue with their quality of
Who's
their
out of
work in the
county?
past
Dan.
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They
It's
are.
pretty much you go with the lowest price. If you're just doing a straight out bid and not doing like a request for proposals where there
Right.
could be differences and variations and
Yeah.
stuff that you could do.
and doing the 3 met the requirements for the model procurement
Yeah.
part of it. So for that, I mean,
I don't know nothing about it, but whatever y'all want to do, I'll vote for it. What do you think, Eric?
whatever.
No,
You gotta
don't.
stay, well, no, you gotta stay within the guidelines. I mean, that's why they put them.
Model procurement really never takes into account geographic location.
No.
It's all about
Just
getting the
amount.
best cost, and that's always the most efficient use of your public dollars is the lowest price wherever, because every dollar we have, wherever it comes from, is all coming from taxes somewhere.
and districts, and there's
That's the
still
only kind of
a,
money we're generating.
there's still a
is taxes.
handful of them, but districts are either, long time ago, way before I was here, districts had to choose if they was gonna do bid law or model procurement. And there's some crossover between both of those, but at Russell County, in most every district is model procurement. And so part of that is on expenditures like this, is to get those 3, because it wasn't a bid that was on a state price list or something like that, that we could just utilize with that. Sometimes, every once in a while, there is on something that they're doing, or if it wasn't bid as part of the project, you know. So as far as the cost goes, it's the Daniel's carpet.
Guess we got a choice.
Need a motion?
Well, I'll make the motion, you ain't got no choice. You said, do it.
I'll second.
Vote?
Mr. Murray,
Yes.
Mr. Selby,
First name.
Yes.
Ms. Wilson,
Yes.
Ms. Higginbotham,
Yes.
Mr. Kazoo.
Yes. Next item on the agenda is surplus food service items.
Who might be?
Our school nutrition program has a color point serving line and a cashier card, steamer no longer needed, attached photos for Russell County Board of Education policy 04, the steamer part was typo on there. 04.8, the superintendent shall advise the board when certain properties are no longer needed for public school purposes. I won't read that in detail. You all have some pictures of it. Food service is just literally, once it needs it out of their way, and it's nothing that they have used for a good long time, and she's tickled to death that we've got it on here for the board approval. So she'll solicit bids for that. So I recommend that the Russell County Board of Education declare the color point serving line and cashier card as surplus property, authorize Superintendent Ford and/or his designee to advertise for sealed bids with the option to reject any and all bids.
I'll make a motion to that effect.
Is there a second? Mr. Murray?
Who? They
Vote?
must be raising hands, I ain't hearing that.
Mr. Murray,
Yes.
Mr. Selby,
Yes.
Ms. Wilson,
Yes.
Ms. Higginbotham,
Yes.
Mr. Kazoo.
Yes.
Director of Safety.
I'm gonna pull this up real quick.
Did you want to pick up trash? We would put it in for this, yeah. Oh, we've been talking.
I couldn't do it. I picked up limbs in my bag. And I even got things to pick
I'm
up
getting
with.
too old to do it.
This is something that Mr. Greider and I have participated in a demo. We've sent it to the school resource officers. I showed it to the principals and central office admin this morning, and it's a safety app. And so in emergencies and things like that, where people would have access to it. Not asking for any approval or anything tonight. I just want you all to be aware of it, think about it. I'll show you the app, and then I'll just say a few words about it.
do as to how the emergency safety app will work for your
I
organization.
don't see nothing.
If you would like a more in-depth demo, please visit emergency.com to hop on to our on-demand webinars that will go a little bit deeper dive, or reach out to us and we'll do a personalized demo for you, answer questions, and make sure this is going to be a good solution.
Is that man talking?
What you're looking at on my page right now, this is the desktop version that runs in the background of all the computers, so that you guys are going to be able to receive those alerts throughout any device in the school. And then over here is my phone, so that you can receive alerts as well. Now, these alert types that you're looking at are fully customized.
No picture?
We can customize these to meet your needs.
I see that.
We understand that a lot of time is put into developing these for your specific sites, and so we want to be able to fit that one. Each and every single alert type that you guys do want to customize will come with its own associated emergency operation plan that can be accessed on the computer as well as on the phone. Now, as for sending out an alert, it's as easy as clicking on one of these icons, and you're going to have a couple of options. Internal will notify everybody associated with that site. External will include first responders. Silent is so that you guys can send out a sound that will just vibrate and pull up on computers without an audible tone, which you're going to hear today. Drill is so you can run the drills and report the state at the end of the year to our reporting mechanism. And then send alert will be a real emergency. So I will go ahead and lock the screen on my phone and send out this alert so that you can see how it will pull up on a computer as well as the phone in the event of emergency. We'll go ahead and hit send alert. Okay, that alarm is going to sound. It's going to go off on both my phone and my computer. It's going to pop up and ask everybody 2 questions. First one is, where are you? I'm going to say I'm in my favorite location, my home room 107. The next question is, are you okay? Are you safe or unsafe? What is going on? I'm going to select that I'm unsafe in this example here. Then it's going to drop me here into this chat feature. Now, before I explain that on the phone, it'll work just like an Android. So whether you're on silent, do not disturb, it'll override those settings and push through so that you can receive it, and then you would just click on it, and it's going to know that you've already answered those questions. So it's going to drop you here into that chat feature where you can communicate what is happening. So you would be able to come in here and put, hey, I saw a suspicious person, what's going on, chat feature for everybody to be on the same page, really helps lower anxiety.
First responders would be
Help
getting this
everybody know what's
information as
going on.
well.
Now, the big feature that sets E3 apart is our mapping solution. So what we will do is we will build a custom map for all of the sites that you guys have there, and each and every single one, in the event of an emergency, whether it's coming from a parking lot, a baseball field, a main building, will light up with red. And what that does is that helps create immediate situational awareness for everybody involved. So whether you're a first responder or a teacher or employee, you're going to know exactly where the issue is to be able to make the best decision for yourself at that time with the information available. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to change my status really quick from unsafe to safe, and we're going to mark the gym as an area of concern. So I'll hit date. That is going to then show everybody, hey, that's where the problem is. If there's a green room, you can get to it. You're going to be able to move around on the map, touch different things, access them, and be able to make real-time decisions. You're going to be able to pull up this list that'll show you everybody who has yet to respond, and then everybody who has responded as well, along with their associated stats. Now, at the end of any drill alert that you run, you go ahead and you click this end button. We also have the option to be able to send out emails and text messages in the event that you guys need to reach other parties as well. Here at E3. And at the end of any drill alert that you run, you're going to be able to come over to the settings tab, click on the alert history, and this is where I had mentioned that we would be able to track these drills so that you can report on them at the end of the year. So we'll track every single drill that you've ran at that site forever. It'll be stored in here, and then if we want to click on that lockdown, it'll pull up the chat feature, so anything that was communicated during the event, and the analytics are going to let you know all of the data behind the event. So we can see that this happened in Nickel Elementary. It was a lockdown started by Dalton on September 23rd. It was 2 minutes and 4 seconds long. Start and end time was 8:32, 8:34, and then if we want to dive deeper into it, we have a log as for how everybody responded during that event, so that you are going to be able to download this, share it with first responders or anybody else to identify the weak points to then institute best practices moving forward. And that is how Immersion 3 is going to help you be able to communicate better, more efficiently, keep everybody on the same page, and make better decisions within seconds when it truly matters. Thank you for taking a look at our app, and feel free to reach out to us for more in-depth demos to show you more about what this is.
So the demo that Mr. Grider and I went through was much more comprehensive. And they sent me a list of districts in Kentucky that are currently using it. And I reached out to them, and they had nothing but good things to say about it. A neat thing that right now, when we have to call a lockdown or things like that, Of course, then we still need to get out and call 911. As this is doing this, it would notify 911 and first responders at the same time. Once your maps are loaded, if Mr. Murray, if it was in his classroom and something bad was going down, he has the app pulled up as first responders are sweeping the building and they're, you know, okay, the gym's okay, Miss Hickenbotham's classroom's okay, Miss Wilson's classroom's okay. He could sit there and watch that and know that they're getting closer to him as the first responders, as they enter and go through with the maps, as the first responders do it. So I've sent it to our school resource officers. I've not yet shared it with, I want to share it with our sheriff and our 2 chiefs of police and get their feedback on it. Again, right now, today, I just wanted you all to see it and look at it. It's something that we're talking to and talking with others. But I've really been impressed more so from what the people that are using it as much as what I have for people that sell it. You know, how that works. And so I like it that there's a desktop version. Mr. Bell at the principal meeting today had a good question. Does it work on Chromebooks? And the company got back with me immediately and said that it did. And so we're really excited about the possibility. And it's just something Mr. Grider and I are going to delve in a little bit deeper, but I think it's something that might have some good potentials.
How many, like, already is using it?
There's probably 8, 9, 10 districts in the state. It's a larger district. Bullitt County, for instance, they're having it. And it's either Boyle or Danville. There's probably the one the closest to us that are currently using it. So it's good, and it can be used for other things besides we think of active shooter or something, but it could be, you know, a severely disruptive student that's really bad, you know, or whatever. So, and a teacher could have it pulled up in the background on their desktop where they could get to it real easily, or on any of their mobile devices. And even if I have it on, he said that, but even if I have it do not disturb, it still pushes through to alert you of those types of things. So, yeah, I think it's got some good options.
Thanks for sharing. Is Tony Hart the one that works at the bank? He's retiring.
He is at some point.
Is Tony Hart, is he retired from the bank?
Next item on the agenda is personnel reports.
Jenny Minix hired Salem Elementary School as a moderate severe disability instructional assistant. Tony Hart hired transportation substitute bus driver. Mary Elizabeth Razad hired transportation substitute bus driver. And Kelby Griders hired district groundskeeper worker. He was fluffing the field?
I don't want to pick up first.
I'd say he'd be good.
I'd say it'd be good.
Next item is public comments.
Okay.
It's tough.
It's just you and name dog name
As a
Blue.
parent, I support Mr. Ford's reemployment.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, well, thank you, Mr. Runyon.
Yeah, he's gonna buy me a soda later.
You're getting a whole case.
You need more than a soda. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Runyon. I appreciate that. I appreciate you all.
Anything else? Anybody?
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second. Third.
Oh, boy, I didn't have no trouble getting that up, did I?
Yeah, I support that too.